What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about the top 10 rarest Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Now, I uploaded a video like this in the past, but the difference between now and then mostly centers around the moveset. Back then, it was really cool to have these crazy legacy moves that were unobtainable, but if you've been following Pokemon Go more recently, you will know about the Elite TM system where you can obtain those legacy moves by just using an Elite TM. So in this video, we are not going to be featuring any Pokemon on this list because of a moveset. I can promise you, some of these Pokemon are going to be so crazy, and some of them I legitimately did not know that they even existed until having to do research on this video. But speaking of the research, I ended up getting a ton of help on Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, get some really cool behind the scenes related stuff, make sure to go ahead and check out the link in the description. If you do enjoy this video and it is helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So in at the number 10 position is a Pokemon that is 100% obtainable at any point in time. So why exactly would it be on this list? Well, believe it or not, it is something that you can get from PvP and rank 10. It is Pikachu with the Libre costume. Now, don't let it fool you. It may seem that it's something very easy to obtain, but I would argue that not many people have been able to reach rank 10. Actually, if you go and check out the leaderboards now, you're talking about being in the top 100 at any point in time, and just those people have enough of an MMR to reach 3,000 to, of course, obtain this Libre as an encounter. And that makes it extremely rare. But the cool thing about this, and starting it off with this position, is it is technically obtainable by anyone in Pokemon Go at any point in time. It just requires a lot of skill, but I still thought it was worth putting in at the number 10 position. In at the number 9 position is a very unique combination that's going to require luck. And that is Lucky, Shiny, 100% IV Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Specifically talking about the harder ones to get, like legendary Pokemon, and then maybe egg exclusive Pokemon or raid Pokemon. These Pokemon are just extremely difficult to get. You have to have a lot of luck on your side. They're also known as a hundo, which is pretty crazy. I mean, there's just so many acronyms for it. Shiny, Lucky, 100% IV Pokemon. My personal favorite of these is probably a Shiny Mewtwo, of course with an exclusive move, something like a Psy Strike, maybe unlock a Shadow Ball on it too. That's going to be crazy rare. I would imagine that there are people out there who have at least one of the two that we have covered. If you have any of these Pokemon that have been covered on this list, let us know in the comments section. In at the number 8 position on this list is focused a little bit more on Shadow Pokemon, and we are talking about Shiny Shadow Pokemon that are 100% IVs. The favorite one that gets mentioned the most is a Beldum. That is an absolute trophy. If you can get yourself a 100% shiny version of the Shadow Pokemon, you are in an extreme minority in that case. This is something that I know so many people have gone out there and hunted. Maybe you were lucky enough to get yourself that Shadow Beldum, but to get a 100% IV one is absolutely insane. I also wanted to show you this super cringy screenshot that I found about a shiny Shadow Beldum, which is just, it just hurts my heart because they ended up purifying it. And yes, it is a 100% IV. Could it have been a 13-13-13, you know, some type of combination like that? Not really sure, but they ended up evolving it before we ended up getting shadow bonuses added in. So RIP to that one, but I still thought it was a crazy cool pull that I wanted to show you. Into the number 7 position is a mistake on Niantic's behalf, and this is just super cool. You had to have the perfect timing of it. I even have some live tweets that ended up happening along the way, and that is Sawk and Throw being misregioned by accident in Pokemon Go, and then Niantic actually reverting it back. Some people were able to see a Sawk in their local region, and then literally 5 minutes later able to see the opposite, like a Throw, for example. But you can get the point. They end up being misregioned for a very small period of time. At some point in time, I'm sure they are going to be flipped. We've seen that happen with other regional Pokemon, but for the time being, these Pokemon are extremely rare because of the amount of time that you had to obtain them. In at the number 6 position is a Pokemon that I actually possess, which I was super shocked to see, but honestly not a lot of trainers actually have this, and that is a glitched Ditto. For some period in time, people were able to obtain Dittos that retained information from their hidden variation. So for example, mine was actually a Pidgey, and if I were to go ahead and search a plus Pidgey, the Ditto ends up showing up on it, which is crazy cool, but it ended up causing some future complications, which is interesting as well. So I ended up recording a video. So for example, you can try to go ahead and unlock a secondary charge move on Ditto, which is not supposed to happen. And then even beyond that, you can try to TM away struggle, and it ends up counting as an exclusive legacy move, which is so interesting to see on a Ditto. I'm sure many of you out there may end up having this one, of course, different variations of it, but I honestly don't think that this is obtainable anymore, which makes them extremely rare. But for those of you out there interested in something like this, definitely reach out to people in your community, look for it, and then you could end up obtaining it from the trading, which is kind of the cool thing centered around this. This number 5 position is a super crazy one. It is a glitch on Niantic's behalf. They tried reverting something, and that is double mythical Pokemon, specifically talking about Mew as well as Celebis. So the reason why people were able to do this is they obtained them from GoFest. And then later on, special research comes out for everyone else to obtain either the Mew or the Celebis. You've kind of seen those things coming. But if you end up obtaining it from GoFest, you're not able to obtain a second one. So how exactly did these people do it? From my understanding, what happened was they ended up getting a Pokemon removed from them, so they couldn't find it, couldn't see whatever was going on. And then when they did the regular research that everyone was doing worldwide, they got their Celebi, they got their Mew, and then Niantic realized, oh my gosh, people from GoFest ended up getting their Mews and Celebis taken away, and then they ended up adding it back, so now people ended up with 2 of them, which is super crazy and actually super helpful, especially for something like Mew for PvP. You get those different IVs, you can use them for different leagues, because for now, if you end up powering one up, you've got no way to go back down, you can't transfer them or do anything like that. I thought that was a really cool scenario, and the fact that people end up getting screenshots of it is even more amazing. In at the number 4 position, we're going to be going back to Shadow Pokemon, and you've got to be super lucky to obtain these Pokemon, pun intended. We are talking about Shadow Lucky Pokemon. Now, you may be saying to yourself, whoa, 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 whoa. Shadow Pokemon cannot be lucky. You can't trade them. Well, when Shadow Pokemon first came out, they were very strange to a lot of us. We were just like, what the heck do you do with it? It was extremely expensive to power up. They didn't get any type of added bonus to them at the beginning of it, but some people decided to trade them to maybe lower down the cost and kind of see what the heck you could do with those Pokemon, and that proved to be a very smart move, whether or not you purposefully did it or stumbled into it, because it became a legacy feature. Niantic ended up reverting that ability to trade those Shadow Pokemon. So if you've got yourself a lucky Shadow Pokemon, consider yourself lucky. I can't tell you how many times I tried trading a Shadow Pokemon, just never end up getting a lucky one. So if you've got one, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and feel free to tweet me on Twitter at FLW Videos. I would love to see it, and if it's a cool one, by all means, I will retweet it. In at the number 3 position is a hyper rare Pokemon known as Shadow Absol. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what are you talking about? I myself have a shiny Absol. Well, it's going to be a specific shiny Absol, which is just insane to get. And that is a level 1 shiny Absol. Now, you may be saying to yourself, how in the world is that even possible? Because Absol is available in eggs, which means if you're at level 20 or above, it's going to be locked at level 20. And then secondly, if you find it in raids, it's either going to be at level 20 or at level 25 if that Pokemon is weather boosted. But there are 2 main ways to obtain this Absol at a level 1, and it's extremely crazy to be able to do this. The more common one is to get it during some type of event where they end up spawning them in the wild. Something like a Go Fest, something like a Safari Zone where Absol has been featured as the predominant Pokemon. You now have the ability to get it below level 20. And for those lucky few trainers out there who manage to get themselves not only a shiny Absol, but at level 1, that is just stupid rare to be able to get that Pokemon that way. The second way is even crazier, is if you have a hatched level 1 shiny Absol. That is insane, but how you would do it is, as a level 1 player, you would have to spin a stop, get yourself a 10-kilometer egg, and then just cross your fingers and hope it was a shiny Absol, because at that point in time, since it's fixed, it would be a level 1 shiny Absol that was hatched, which is absolutely insane. So the number 2 position on this list is so rare that I don't actually have a screenshot of it. I got some that are very close that hit a couple of the check marks, but it's extremely rare, and I promise you at some point in time, someone is going to be able to pull this off if they are motivated enough. And that is a shiny level 1 baby Pokemon that is lucky at a 100% IV. Wow, that was a mouthful. That was a lot going on. So how in the world would you be able to obtain this? The most strategic way that I've seen people do this is they end up starting up a brand new account in Pokemon Go, and they try to get themselves as many eggs as possible without going over in XP. That's extremely important because you need to obtain these eggs at level 1. So you got to get super lucky with this. Your best shot is to get 9 eggs. Go ahead and try to do it. And then of course, once you get it, trade it over to your main account. Maybe you end up getting lucky enough to get this. I mean, we've got that screenshot from earlier with Lucky Buns, but it's not a level 1. Could you imagine being able to do this? Go ahead and check this one out. I mean, it's just insane, and I definitely feel like it deserves to be on the number 2 spot. The number 10 position is stupid rare. It is so rare that I actually did not hear about this until I ended up doing research on this Pokemon, and that is a lucky 100% IV Deoxys. You're saying to yourself, what the heck are you talking about? This Pokemon is never tradable. I myself, like hundreds of thousands of others, when the EX raids came out, tried to trade a Deoxys to find out it got classified as a mythical Pokemon that was non-tradable. Boo to Niantic for that. We wanted to trade those, but a lot of people just kind of gave it up, let it rest, didn't really think about it. But randomly, during a community day that happened later on, the ability to trade Deoxys was temporarily unlocked. Probably not on purpose, I would imagine, but could you imagine being the person during a random community day just trying to trade themselves a Deoxys and it actually going through? And not only that, getting yourself a lucky variation, and to put the cherry on top, getting a 100% IV. Now, I have not personally seen a 100% IV, but we have seen those lucky variations, knowing that at one point in time this was possible, which in my opinion would make it single-handedly one of the rarest Pokemon in Pokemon Go. To be honest with you, I had a ton of fun making this video. I would love to hear what you think about this in the comment section below. Did you enjoy this? Do you feel like I left something out? If I did, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to smash that like button, and I will see you next time. Huge shout out to the supporters over at Patreon. If you would like to get exclusive perks, make sure to check out that link in the description, and I will see you next time.